Hey everyone, we are live for the second month of NRT Live. Last month I had on Kay Thompson and that was amazing. This month I'm going to be having on Tasha Layton and she's going to be joining me here shortly. If you don't know who I am, I'm Grace Chavis. I'm the assistant news editor for newreleasetoday.com. I'm doing this every month to introduce new artists and just talk about their music, and it's actually coordinating with their album releases. And today, Tasha Layton released a new EP called Into the Sea. So today I'm going to be talking with her about that, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to wait a little bit and see if she jumps in here. Then we'll get started. Feel free to check in. Hi, I see my mom's watching. Hello to Bethany. Hi, Esther and Mary. Thank you all for joining me here. I know a lot of other live streams are going on Friday, so thanks for jumping on this one. I'm excited for Tasha to be joining me. She's a relatively new artist. She recently signed to BEC Records, and I believe this is her second album that she's released. So it's really exciting, and I'm excited to talk to her about that. Hi, Lindsay. Gonna give it a little more time, wait for Tasha to jump on here. And if you're not familiar with who Tasha is, she just released a new song called Into the Sea. Radio stations have picked up on it. Kay loves playing it and some other stations. So if you're not familiar with her, you've probably heard her song. And I'm going to be talking with her about that as well. So let's see. Hi, Dwayne. All right. I don't see her in the chat yet, so I'm going to wait a little bit. Then we'll get started. Let me send this to her real quick. Let me see. All right, so just hang on a little bit longer and then I'll get her in here and we'll start our interview. And if you don't know what NRT Live is, I started up last month, and it's where I'm going to be talking with artists. I talked about that at the beginning, but if you just jumped on, I'm going to be talking with Tasha today about her new EP, and I see she's in here, so I'm going to add her real quick. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm just holding down the fort. My husband is on tour, and I have two sick little babies at home. So
Aw.
today's been a full day of album release, single release, and taking care of babies and doing laundry.
Oh, I'm sure. Sure you've been busy.
Yeah.
So it's great that you're on here today. And for those of you who don't know, just tell us a bit about yourself and tell us your story.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, how far do you want me to go back? I think the long story short, I grew up in a Christian home. I grew up in the South in a little town that had a flashing light and a volunteer fire station. It was very small, but we weren't too far from things that were kind of bigger. Anyway, love God. Eventually, like a lot of people, was really wounded in the church and couldn't reconcile that with my faith, how hurt I felt, and just the disillusionment from all of that. And so became very depressed, tried to commit suicide. And anybody who knows me now, would look back at that story and, maybe not believe it, because I'm very positive and joyful now, and I feel really happy. And so I think for me to have felt so stuck earlier in life, sometimes I can't even believe that I felt that stuck. But long story short, I ended up going to seminary in California, and after seminary, I worked at a church for 4 years as a worship pastor, and then after that, I ended up in the music industry. I had never planned on doing music, and but I think looking back, hindsight's 20/20, and looking back, maybe I'd always wanted to do it, but I was just afraid. And so ended up in the music industry, did American Idol, and sang for a lot of different artists. I was on tour with Katy Perry for 4 years, did a lot of different things. And so then I kind of had a fork in the road and moved to Nashville and started writing songs because I felt like I had something to say. I felt like the Lord had given me something to say. And so here we are now. And I live in Nashville with my husband and my two littles that we never thought we'd have. That's another story. But yeah, so just getting to do what I had always prayed to God to do, and that was be able to connect people with God and to help them feel his presence and connect with him. And so I am privileged to get to do that now.
That's awesome. Thanks. And then your newest single is called Into the Sea, and I know that's resonated with a lot of people during this pandemic. What's the story behind that song?
You know, that song came out of some pretty raw emotions, I'd say. Obviously, none of us knew that a pandemic was on its way when we wrote that. The Lord did not drop that knowledge down into us when we wrote the song. The song is actually, I was channeling two different things, and I'll be as open with you as I can be. One is that dark period of my life when I tried to commit suicide. I was definitely channeling that. And also channeling some challenges Keith and I were having in our marriage. And we even walked in that day just having prayed to God to help us through that. And so that's where that song came out of. And it's funny because it's very personal for me. And sometimes when you write something really personal, it ends up speaking to a lot of people. And I think that's kind of been what it's done. I get messages literally every day from people who have heard the song, and the messages rarely have to do with the pandemic. It's usually something that something challenging that they're dealing with in their life. So
that's so cool. Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories of how your song's been impacting people, and it's so cool to see.
that's awesome.
And then congrats on releasing your new EP, which just dropped today.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that project as a whole?
Well, I think we had a couple songs that we had done that we had not released, but we really wanted people to be able to access them. Into the Sea and Safe Here that we really loved, and we wanted people to be able to get to those. And then we had two new songs that we were working on that we wanted to release too. And the story behind Good Things was a story of infertility for a couple that we're close to, and which is really close to our heart because we dealt with infertility. And so we had a writing session and ended up a prayer meeting, and the prayer meeting turned into the song. And so that's what Good Things is about. It's not a shallow theology of kind of the God is a gumball machine theology. Like it's not that God will give you whatever you want, or that he's going to just pour out good things all the time, you know, all that. It's more of he has our best interest in mind, and that he's working all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And so that's what that song is about. And then Thank You for the No is actually about all the times I've heard no from God. Thank you for the no. Thank you for the not yet, for the hold on, for the silence. I think as a people, we rarely thank God for the no's. We a lot of times look back and see how he has really saved us from certain things and kept us, you know, on a certain path. But I think I really was in a season where I just wanted to thank him for what he kept me from and the decisions he kept me from making. And also the things that he withheld that I wasn't ready for, or that that the timing wasn't right. And so that's what Thank You for the No is about. And then, of course, Into the Sea is on this album too.
Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, I heard the new EP a couple days ago, and it's really good.
Awesome. I'm glad you like it. That's awesome. I love, you know, some of the things sonically we did with the new songs, and And I love that there's some acoustic things on there too, because I really wanted people to be able to hear the song stripped down and
Hmm.
even be able to do it, perform it or lead it at their church and worship, however they could. And so I think
Hmm.
acoustic versions really help that.
Oh yeah, that's great. And then, what has been like balancing both your family and your music career during this pandemic?
That's my answer. It is so hard. I mean, like when the pandemic hit, I had a week-old
Oh
baby.
wow.
And so, in some sense, my maternity leave just rolled into, um, quarantine. And so, like,
Hmm.
in some ways, it wasn't very different for me because I probably wouldn't have gone many places the first couple of months of after having a baby anyway.
Hmm.
But then after that, I really felt it because I didn't have babysitters for my son. I didn't have preschool or childcare for him. And so,
Hmm.
like, balancing a newborn and a toddler and, trying to manage everything at home and the projects we were working on. And so, it was just really stressful. And I'm not going to lie, like
Hmm.
that was really, really hard. And I think it was hard for a lot of people. Thankfully, we went to see my family in South Carolina and we stayed there. We ended up staying there a
Hmm.
long time. We went for like a week or 2 weeks, and then it ended up we stayed for like 6 weeks, and then we came back for a week, and they were like, "Ah, you want to go back?" So we ended up going back, and it was just so nice to have family and have some extra hands, with a new baby and a toddler.
Hmm.
So I'd say overall, I have a philosophy about balance. I think
Hmm.
the best thing I can do for my kids is for them to see me walking out the call of God on my life.
Hmm.
And secondly, I always feel like a ball is getting dropped. Like
Hmm.
there is no one moment where I feel like I have conquered everything. And I have learned to be okay with that and
Hmm.
to have grace and to have grace for myself. And the more you have grace for yourself, the more you have grace for other people. And you
Hmm.
realize, you know what? Life is hard. We don't all have it together. And let me offer help where I can offer help to other people because I really need
Hmm.
that too. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even imagine having two little kids in the middle of a pandemic. That must be pretty crazy.
yeah. And I think when it first hit, no one knew what to expect. We didn't
Hmm.
know what this whole thing was about. And so, I was afraid for my newborn and
Yeah.
um, all that. And thankfully things have calmed down. I think we have a better perspective now. But um, yeah, it was scary for a little bit. I think
Hmm.
the rubber meets the road as far as your faith is concerned when
Hmm.
stuff like that happens. So,
Yeah, I'm sure. And then pretty recently you signed to BEC Records. What was it like signing to them?
I love my BC family. Let me just represent. Hey guys. I love them for several different reasons. Number one, they believed in me when they heard my music early on, and it was not cookie cutter. It wasn't, you know, how would I describe it? It was just different. And like,
Hmm.
some of that stuff I haven't put out, but like, they just believed in me creatively so much. And
Hmm.
they've just been on my team. And I feel that support from them, and I feel their love and support. And, when I was talking to different labels, the deciding factor was that I found out that they prayed and fasted for me as a
Hmm.
label to make the right decision. And I thought, that's who would do that, and that
Hmm.
kind of made my decision for me in a sense because I was really excited that to hear that they had that spiritual perspective and they
Hmm.
believed in the ministry portion of what I do, because that's first for me. And so
Hmm.
they totally supported not standing in the way of that in any way, and like um committing to seeing both sides and the holistic view of that flourish. And that was
Hmm.
really, really refreshing to hear that. So they've been awesome. I love them.
Nice. Then, do you have any plans to release more music after the CP?
Yes. So
Hmm.
we've already started writing. We've been working on a little Christmas music,
Oh, nice.
and which I don't know if we'll really, I don't know how we'll put that out there,
Hmm.
but I do love Christmas, and so working on that, working on the next single. It's already
Hmm.
kind of in the works, and just really exciting. I love creating. I love writing because I truly believe that God has given me something to say. I don't think um, it's not as much about the music for me. I love
Hmm.
music, and I'll always try to be involved in music some way, but um, it really is more about it being just a tool, just a conduit for me to be able
Hmm.
to speak to people, what God is telling me, um, and to help connect them to Him. So
Awesome. I'm excited to listen to the Christmas music. I love Christmas music,
me
so.
too. I listened to some yesterday. I think we listened to Harry Connick Jr.'s some of his, I can't remember which one it was, but some of his
Hmm.
Christmas music. Oh man, so good. I love Christmas. I
Hmm.
go overboard in my house. It's like Hobby Lobby threw up in my house. I have so many trees. I mean, like we're talking like a tree for every room. Like
Oh,
it
wow.
is nuts. It's so nuts. And I don't do it every year because like it's so much work. But usually I'm like, I even like right before Thanksgiving, I'm already starting because I know if I
Hmm.
don't start then, I'm not going to get to enjoy it. So,
Yeah.
oh, Jake says that's way too early.
No, it's not.
It's not. That's right. Get with me, girl. That's right.
Yeah,
Never too early.
I was listening to Christmas music like beginning of quarantine, like March, April, so it's
Yeah.
never too early.
I mean, sometimes it just lifts your spirits. It just puts you in that kind of nostalgic mood. And yeah, Jake, look at all these people commenting that it's never too early. It's awesome. I love what's your favorite Christmas album, or what's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh man, that's hard. I love For King and Country's Christmas album that they put out a couple years
Mm,
ago. Live from
yep.
Phoenix. That one's really cool.
Yep.
So I like Little Drummer Boy, the way they do it. That one's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go
Well,
with
they
that.
have such cool things they do with drums in live
Oh
shows.
yeah.
Like everyone's got a drum.
Hmm.
It's
Basically.
awesome. I love those guys.
Hmm. And then I have some rapid fire questions for you. Do you want to do that
Okay.
real quick?
Okay, let's do it.
So first one, favorite movie.
Oh gosh. Shawshank Redemption.
Sounds familiar. I think I might have heard that one before.
Yeah, you might be too young. I might be too old.
Sounds familiar. And then favorite song.
Oh, like of any song?
Sure.
Okay, so I have this is not a rapid fire answer, but I have this song from this band that just puts me in a happy mood. It's called Walking on a Dream by Empire of the Sun. Empire of the Sun. And whenever I'm just kind of down, I just put it on. It's just got a
Mhm.
good beat and I love it. But I have lots of favorite songs. That's a hard question.
Oh yeah. I like if I was asked that, I don't even know what I would say.
Yeah,
It's a
like
very hard
favorite
question.
hymn, favorite Christmas song, favorite song on the radio right now. Like, I mean, you could go all different directions with that.
Yeah.
So, oh, somebody else loves that song. Empire of the Sun, Walking on a Dream. That's right. Okay,
Nice. Then coffee or tea.
coffee. Well, is it hot or iced?
Either way.
If it's iced, I'm gonna do a half sweet, half unsweetened tea.
Mm.
If it's warm, I'm gonna do coffee all the way.
I can't stand coffee. I had this conversation before on a live stream. Cannot
That's
stand
okay.
it, but
Lots of people can't stand coffee. This whole like hipster coffee thing. I mean, it's really gotten out of control. I mean, it's all over the place.
oh yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna judge people if they don't like coffee. If you don't like coffee, you don't like coffee. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Good for you. Love everybody.
And then favorite fast food place.
Oh, Chick-fil-A. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah.
no question there. I
Hmm.
almost think it's not even fast food. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even seem like fast food to me sometimes. Now, like really bad for you fast food, Taco Taco Bell. I craved Taco Bell when I was pregnant, and I
Hmm.
never ate it before. Just when I was
Wow.
pregnant. I wanted it all the time.
That's
That and
funny.
McDonald's French fries.
Hmm. Then favorite book in the Bible.
Oh, Psalms. I mean, that's
Hmm.
hands down Psalms. I
Yeah.
love how David takes you on an emotional journey, and it's like, oh my gosh, things are so bad. This is how I feel, but God. Then there's the
Hmm.
hope point, and then he talks about how awesome God is, and I love
Hmm.
that. I love that he's real, but then he also his hope is as real as his despair. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
That's great. And then, what's your life verse?
Oh, someone's judging you. Jake's
Oh,
judging
really,
you. I
Jake?
judge you. I judge you, Grace. Coffee's essential. I
Wow.
love Psalm 27. Psalm 27 and James 1. Really the whole book. Count it all joy. And then I love Psalm 32 too. So
Mm-hmm.
27, 32, and then James 1.
Awesome. And then, not a rapid fire question, but how can we be praying for you?
Oh, I think you know, just praying that the Lord continues to give me creative ways
Mm-hmm.
to care for my family and to spend the time I want with him and also get what I need to get done. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really I just crave time with him. And once you get married and have kids and have a home and responsibilities, you have to fit it in wherever you can. And I would love to for him to just show me more ways that I can fit it in and
Mm-hmm.
just be with him. I think, yeah, just more of his presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
For
awesome.
me and my family.
Yeah. Well, it was great getting to talk with you, and I'll definitely stay in touch with you. It's going to be posted on our IGTV after and probably YouTube. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'll let you know when that goes up.
Thank you, Grace.
Of course. I hope
Have a
you have
good
a great
night.
day. You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Well, it was so awesome getting to talk with Tasha, and I'm not sure who I'm having on next month, but stay tuned on our page and we'll keep you all updated. Thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.